If you follow the latest in VR, then you probably know the name Luna.
According to Luna,
Luna is at it again.
Also, Luna on Twitter highlighted that a user in the Discord got
Brought up by Luna on Twitter. I swear, one of the biggest sources of VR news at the moment.
Whether you know them as VR enthusiast Luna, Luna from Twitter, or ex-user Luna, there is no doubt that Luna has become one of the most quoted sources in Quest news as of late. But who exactly is Luna? And how did a self-described unhinged anime cat girl become such a well-known figure in the VR industry?
You're famous now. You can't just go wherever you want.
I've been wondering that myself. And so, appearing as their VR chat avatar, Luna answered a few questions so we can get a better sense of who they are.
Hi, I'm Luna, and I'm mostly known for sharing info in AR/VR space, really related to MetaQuest headsets in particular. I got my start in AR/VR as far back as the Oculus Rift Kickstarter and branching devices like the PSVR. I was really excited for that and how that relates to the future of gaming and computing and those sorts of things. So I said I've been following this space for a long time, so I'm just going to start talking about it, and I think that's kind of what I'm known for at this point. So I don't currently work in AR/VR. Again, it's mostly a hobby for me. I sometimes test apps and games for people, sometimes paid, sometimes not, but it's really just had a passion for me wanting to make those experiences better. If I could work in AR/VR, it would probably come back to my whole interest in art and expression. I'd really like to work in UI and UX design. Sometimes I'll post UI and UX design explorations for quests and other things. But I do wish I could work as a UI UX designer, at least like a consultant at some level. For a company like Meta or Apple or somewhere. So I have had people at Meta imply that my name comes up a bit internally. I'm not really sure at what capacity, but I have heard that it does pop up, and I'm not really sure if that's because they want to be up to date on what's leaking and what people feel about things, or if they want to know my opinions on things. It could be a mixture of both, I don't know. That is pretty cool and interesting. So I think it's pretty cool that the content creators see what I do and value it. A lot of it started in the Quest 2 era, but I feel like the Quest 3 era, because there was more to explore and more excitement, people started looking towards me. Some of that is a bit annoying, because sometimes when you're data mining and finding strings for things, people will kind of run with it and interpret it in a kind of less than optimal way, and I kind of wish people would consult me about it, because I tend to have a good eye for what things are related to and how they might ship. So that's kind of useful. I wish people would consult me a bit more, but I do like people valuing that I'm the person to really spread the info in a compelling way. That's exciting to me. I can't take all the credit. There's other people who hang out in Discord servers and such, like Samulia, who like to data mine and share their thoughts on things, but they're less public, so it's kind of, I guess people tend to look towards me because I'm sharing it in a public way, an easy to access way. I think something that is probably surprising to people is that, like, I am the person who leaked the original Quest 2 tutorial video back in 2020, like a few days before MetaConnect, and I leaked it anonymously through the help of a friend, but I am the person who leaked it, so that's something that's funny.
Welcome.
So personally, I own a Quest 3 and a Quest Pro. I really like Quest 3. I do have access to other headsets such as Index and I think an Original 5 somewhere away and a Quest 2, but I don't really use those much. I do just have my Quest 3. Quest 3 represents a really good push for usability and functionality, so I tend to just use that. The resolution's really good, the mixed reality is really clear, the controllers feel really good. Sometimes I'll use my Pro controllers on it, but I really like Quest 3, mostly.
When I was going through Luna's profile to learn more about them, I noticed that a big part of their online presence revolved around art and expression and VR chat content. And so I wanted to know more about how these things relate to who they are as a person.
So art's a pretty big part of me because my Twitter account originally was just going to be a sketch dump. I was studying art and design at the time, focused on concept art and game art. And at some point, my original Twitter account I lost my password and I got locked and things. So I just made a new one, and that's my Twitter account today. And I was just sharing sketches and things I've made in class. And at some point I was just like, I've been following the AR/VR space for a while now, and I think I'm just going to start talking about it. I think that's the next stage of expression and sharing creation, so I'm going to start talking about it. So I think VR chat's a really awesome app because it lets you express yourself however you want and be anywhere you want. And I think that's a really it gets down to the really nitty gritty of why AR VR is important. But I don't think VR Chat's either really my most played experience. I really gravitate toward things like shooters. Like I really like Contractors, really like Onward, I really like Pavlov, I really like Breachers. Like shooters are really awesome for me in VR. It's not, I wouldn't say it's better than experiencing flat screen shooters, but it almost represents that same feeling as going on an airsoft field and having fun with your friends for the day. So that's what I like. I do think expression's a really cool part of VR, and I think that that's one of the fundamental things for it is that you can express yourself by being in any space you want, and you can be in any avatar you want. Experiences like VR Chat and things like Bone Lab really encapsulate that, right? Because I'm not a cat girl in the real world, but I can be an anime cat girl in VR if I really feel like that. So you can be whatever gender you want, you can be whatever form you want, you can be wearing a mech suit, and you can be a Pokemon. Like, I think that's really cool and what AR VR really boils down to in terms of its best value. I guess if I was going to share anything else is I think it's never been a better time to get into AR VR. I think the industry is in a really good spot, and you can kind of see that from the public numbers, but even from some of like the back-end stuff I've seen and people have told me, I think there's never been a better time. Especially with Quest, I think Quest 2 is $199, Quest 3 is $500, and then later this year we'll have the Quest 3 Lite, Quest 3S, probably slotting into that $300 price range as well. So I think there's just never been a better time, and I think if someone wants to get into VR, they absolutely should. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I hopefully covered a good amount of things. I do think that there's never been a better time to get in AR VR, and I hope that people find the things I post and talk about valuable. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, that's a wrap.
Thank you for watching. If you'd like to follow and support Luna, you may find links in the description below.
Introducing Vision Pro. It does all the things you'd expect a spatial computer to do. It does a lot of things you wouldn't expect a spatial computer to do. And it does some things no other spatial computer has ever done before. Of course, to do all this, you will have to learn to do this. Vision Pro from Apple.